Hey everyone, so I wanted to quickly talk about the Fists of the Gadget here because we actually have all of the revealed cards for the particular set, so we could actually go over a few of these cards. Some of them are new and I won't be going over every single one of them, but we'll be actually giving them some mentions. So for example, in the Gadgets, we're actually getting Boot Up Corporal, we're getting Boot Up Admiral, Boot Up Order, Gear Change, Boot Up Order Gear Force, Power Hold, the Moving Battery. Definitely very interesting cards. Obviously this is very generic stuff for Gadgets. I don't really have too much of an interest for Gadgets. I mean, the only thing I can see is that if there's any generic machine support that could be used for Ancient Gears, which I'm still trying to work on. But it's definitely going to be very interesting seeing someone incorporate, or rather fully build a Gadget deck that's actually pure and can do stuff. I mean, I haven't seen Gadgets actually for a long time now, and the fact that they could potentially become a proper archetype with this particular support is definitely going to be very interesting. Seeing that they actually have this whole I don't know, kind of like a Navy ranking system with the different names of these cards is definitely going to be very interesting, focusing on a particular theme of Gadgets as well, so really awesome. But of course, the cards we want to talk about the most here is the Fire Fist. It's the one I'm most excited about because obviously I played the deck. I am really excited about these cards. There's a lot to go over, so let's get started. Firstly, we have Brother of the Fire Fist Ram, level 3 Fire Beast Warrior effect monster, 800 attack, 200 defense. When this card is normal summon, you can discard one card, target one 5 formation spell trap you control, set one 5 formation spell trap with a different name directly from your deck. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, for example Spirit, you could set one 5 formation spell trap directly from your deck with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn, so definitely really nice effect here, kind of like similar to something like Spirit or perhaps even Rooster. Again, like Leopard, one of the really good cards that I'll definitely be incorporating to the deck here. And for Ram, being it as that particular animal, also something that is really cool. Next we have Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Elephant. This is probably one of the most weirdest animals they actually decide to add into this. It just doesn't seem to work as well, but we have here level 4 Fire Beast effect monster, Beast Warrior effect monster, attack 1000, defense 1800. If this card is summoned, you could send one face up 5 formation spell trap you control to the graveyard, special summon a Fire Fist from your hand, except itself. You can target one 5 formation spell trap in your graveyard, shuffle it into your deck, then you could add a level 5 or high Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. You could only activate this once per turn. Definitely very interesting, as you can see. That's because being able to add level 5 or higher, we don't really play too many level 5s at all in typical Fire Fist decks. I mean, you might play Swallow, but even then most Fire Fist decks focus on the level 3s and level 4s, and even among the level 4s you're really just playing 2 of them, so Elephant is definitely going to be incorporating some very interesting plays for the deck here. Next we have Panda, level 5 Fire Beast Warrior effect monster, 2100 attack, 400 defense. If you activate a 5 formation spell trap, you can special summon this card from your hand and special summon one 5 Fist monster from your graveyard except itself. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for 5 Fist monsters. If a 5 Fist monster you control would be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you could send one 5 formation spell trap you control to the graveyard instead. Each effect can only be used once per turn. So definitely a really nice card, easy summon, and also great protection as well, so definitely really like this card. Level 5s could potentially work. Interestingly enough, we're actually getting a level 6 as well, so Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Eland. I don't know what Eland actually means, what type of animal it is, so going to be very odd to see what it is. Level 6 Fire Beast Warrior Ritual Effect Monster, so obviously that's going to be very odd because I've never actually would have imagined that Fire Fist would be actually getting ritual support here. So 2400 attack, 2000 defense. You could ritual summon this card with 5 formation Dorme. You could discard one monster, set one 5 formation spell trap directly from your deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect as a quick effect, you could send one face up 5 Fist or 5 formation card you control to the graveyard, except itself, negate that effect. You can only use each effect of this once per turn. Not particularly an amazing card, but overall great way to definitely cycle out your resources. So Not too bad of a card, definitely something I would actually be willing to try out. We're also getting Brotherhood of the Five-Fist Swan, definitely a really interesting choice of animal here, but of course I guess the swan is kind of like similar to the raven or eagle or hawk, but it's just really interesting. Level 8-5 Beast Warrior Fusion Effect monster, you know, that's really good news because now Five Fists actually have every single summoning method. We have Fusion, Xyz, Ritual, and Fusion, so really awesome here. Very excited about this. Obviously the only thing we haven't got is pendulums, but even so, Five Fists being able to get 4 summoning methods within the deck like that is definitely very interesting. 5 if you include links as well. 2600 attack, 2200 defense, 2 Beast Warrior monsters as materials. If this card is summoned or special summoned, if this card is special summoned, you could inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each fire formation spell trap you control. During the battle phase, quick effect, you could send one face-up fire formation spell trap you control to the graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Each effect can only be used once per turn. Very nice card to actually pop one of your opponent's cards, obviously kind of following the theme here of Five Fists itself with particularly bear and gorilla's effects. So Swan, definitely a really interesting card for fusion, obviously not an amazing card, but still a really great utility card that you could actually go into. Next we have Brotherhood of the Five-Fist Eagle, a level 2 fire Beast Warrior Link effect monster, attack 1700, bottom left and bottom right as the link markers, 2 Beast Warrior monsters as materials, so you could actually use this potentially in, I don't know, maybe Gladiator Beast or Zodiac. You can only special summon this card once per turn. You can activate Five Fist monsters effects without sending Five Fist or 5 formation cards from your hand to the graveyard. That is definitely really amazing. That is going to be very significant, particularly for bear and gorilla, and as a result you're actually kind of saving your resources here to actually use for other effects as well. So definitely really nice here. You could target one 5 formation spell trap you control in your graveyard, return it to the hand, then send one 5 Fist monster from your deck to your graveyard. You can only use this effect of 5 Fist Eagle once per turn. Definitely really interesting. Again, I love the fact that all these cards are now supporting the fact that we can recycle our cards, allowing us to actually enter more so into the late game. So very interesting to see all these cards here being able to bring back our resources. And of course we mentioned this card last time, Brotherhood of the Five-Fist Peacock, a link to Fire Beast Warrior Link effect monster, 1000 attack, points to the left and bottom, 2 Five Fist monsters as materials. When this card points to a Five Fist monster your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. When this card declares an attack, you can send one face-up 5 formation spell trap you control to the graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls, place that opponent's monster in the zone this card points to and take control of it until the end phase, but it cannot declare an attack this turn. You can only use this once per turn. Definitely a really nice card, the fact that we could actually steal our opponent's cards as well, so really awesome. Great utility card, and the fact that it's also specific to Five Fist is definitely very awesome. I like to see more archetype specific cards or more archetype restricted cards, so really nice here to see. Interestingly enough, we are getting our first field spell, Fire Fortress atop Liang Peak. So this is always treated as a 5 formation card. Each time a 5 Fist monster is normal or special summon, you place one 5 Fist counter on this card. Very interesting that we're utilizing counters here. Once per turn you can remove 5 Fist counters from your field to activate one of these effects. You can remove 2 if your Beast Warrior attacks this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Very good. 6, add 1 Beast Warrior from your deck to your hand, or 10, special summon a Beast Warrior from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. That is insane. I mean, like, yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult to obviously accumulate these counters, but even for removing 2 counters, that's already really good that you're able to just stop your opponents from responding to your attacks. So very nice indeed. But I definitely do like the 10 counters effect because of the fact that you can just summon any of the monsters from the extra deck, and it's really amazing. I mean, it's not like our monsters are amazing or anything, but even so, the fact that this is actually an option is really awesome. Of course, we have 5 formation Dorme. When this card is activated, you can ritual summon 1 Beast Warrior ritual effect monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. Actually, it's quite weird. It's a continuous spell card. It's meant to be a ritual spell card, but I guess it kind of works in the same way as the typical 5 formation cards. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, you can target a 5-fist monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect of Dorme once per turn, and you could only activate one of these per turn. Okay, so definitely a fair restriction, but even so, very good effects. Very interesting that a continuous spell card can actually ritual summon, so it's really awesome to see a bit of utility, actually giving 5-fists that typical playstyle while at the same time bringing on new versatile mechanics to actually support the deck. We also have 5 formation Ingen, continuous spell card. When this card is activated, you can fusion summon 1 Beast Warrior fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. If this face-up card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 5-fist monster from your graveyard and add it to your hand, and you can only use this effect of 5 formation Ingen once per turn, and you can only activate 1 per turn. So again, another continuous spell card that's actually able to fusion summon now, so very nice. I love these different utilities that this is actually giving here. 5-fists are definitely going to be getting so many things here. I'm very excited about this. And of course, there's the final card, Ultimate 5 Formation Sinto, counter trap card. When a spell trap is activated while you control a 5-fist monster and a 5 formation spell trap, negate the activation, and if you do destroy that card, yes, we're actually getting our own personal Solemn Judgment or our own personal Salomon Great negation as well. So really awesome, very happy to actually see this. So I can't wait now to build 5-fists. The fact that we have a negation, we can go for fusion, we can go for ritual, we have new cards to actually support our mechanic. Really amazing, and I'm definitely very excited. Tell me what you guys think about this. But of course, those are the 11 cards here, so I can't wait. We're also getting a few interesting Archfiend cards as well, particularly supporting Summon Skull. Anders would actually be interested in building this. In fact, he actually has specified that he will be interested in building this deck, depending on the price of course, but even so, it's going to be really cool for us to be able to play against each other as well. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm not going to go over every single one of these cards here, but there is definitely a good number of new support. I think about 5 cards, so it should be easy enough for Anders to actually get all these, and from there he might actually do a deck profile, so definitely check out his channel. He might perhaps talk about these cards. I believe he's already talked about them in an earlier card. It's just that most of these cards were imported from a lot of the OCG sets that we never got in the past. We also have a few other interesting Cyberse cards as well. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, however there is a few interesting ones that we do see that we might recognize. So we're actually getting Code Talker and Shooting Code Talker as well, both in this set. So finally we're actually getting them. Very happy about this, because with Shooting Code we should have gotten it a long time ago, and at this point I was expecting it to be in a structure deck or another starter deck, but the fact that we're getting it in this set is definitely something that fills me with joy, because the thing is, to wait for another structure deck or to wait for another starter deck, it just seems kind of unnecessary that it's always going to be focusing on Cyberse. So the fact that Shooting Code Talker and Code Talker can actually come out of an official set, I think that's definitely more interesting. That being said, that's pretty much it for this particular video. There is just so many cards that are really amazing in this set, so yeah, really great cards here, great reprints as well. In fact, we could actually quickly take a look at these reprints. We're also getting 5-fist Gorilla, Bear, Spirit, Rooster, Cardinal, and Tiger King. We're getting Tanky, Tensu, and Yoko. Definitely great reprints for 5-fists. So if you guys want an easy way to actually just get into 5-fists without actually previously owning the deck, you can actually just start yourselves off here with these particular reprints. But of course, also the amazing amount of OCG imports. At the same time, we're also getting amazing reprints. Scrap Recycler, really good card. Morphage, Letri, Sloth, and Goliath are all reprinted in this. Master Cyberse, Chronograph Sorcerer, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and even the True Dracos as well. So definitely a really good set. I'll definitely be investing into this. Maybe I might get like 2 boxes, maybe even a 3rd one, depending on the ratios, of course. But in the meantime, tell me what you guys think about this. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.